Hi children, good morning. In the previous episodes, we have discussed about different parts of the plant, and also we have learned that what are the functions of different parts of the plant, like the functions of roots, the functions of plant, that means the functions of leaves. So in this way, we have discussed the different parts of the plant and their functions in the previous episode. So in this episode, we are going to discuss the third lesson, that is animals around us. So children, we will observe different types of animals around us. So various types of animals in our surroundings. So especially we will observe some animals in our villages, especially on roadside. For example, dogs, cows, buffaloes, and cats, goats, so etc. Children, so these are the examples for some animals which we will observe in our surroundings, especially in our villages and on the roadside. And we will observe some animals in the forest. And examples for the animals which will be seen in the forest are lion, tiger, wolf, jackal, leopard, elephant, deer, so etc. So children, so these are the animals. So we can observe these animals especially in the forest. And also we can observe some animals in the water. So what you can observe animals in the water? So can you give examples for those animals which you observe in water? Yes, very good. So that is fish. So we will observe fish in water. And also some crabs and sharks and whales. So etc. So children, so we will observe these animals in water. And we will also observe some animals in air. That means some animals flying in the air. So what are the examples for those animals which we can observe in air? So most of the birds. So all the birds. So we will observe all the birds flying in the air. So the examples for the animals which will fly in the air are birds, and also some insects like butterflies, cockroaches, grasshopper, like this. So they will also fly in the air, and also some insects will also fly in the air. In this way, children, so we will observe various types of animals and different types of animals in our surroundings. So those animals which can be observed in our villages and especially on roadside are called domestic animals. So children, so these animals, that is dogs, cows, buffaloes, cats, goats, sheep, rats, etc. So these animals will be observed in our villages and on roadside. So that's why these animals are called domestic animals. So domestic animals. Children, what are domestic animals? So these are the domestic animals. So dogs, cows, buffaloes, etc. So are the examples for domestic animals. And so what these animals are called? So these animals like lion, tiger, wolf, leopard, elephant, deer, rhinoceros, so bear. So these animals will be observed in the forest. So that's why those animals which can be observed in the forest are called wild animals. So children, these are called wild animals. And children, so we can grow some animals in our houses. So especially we can keep some animals in our houses, and we will grow some animals in our houses, and we will provide some food, shelter, water to those animals. and we will keep those animals in our houses, and we will they will make some works for us. So those animals which are kept in our houses and which are grown in our houses are called pet animals. So pet animals. So examples. So what are the examples for pet animals? So which type of animals can be grown in our houses? So which type of animals can help to us? So for example, these dogs, cows, buffaloes and cats, so children, so all these animals can be grown in our houses also, and they will make a lot of works to us, and they will make some helps to us, and we will provide some food, shelter and water for them. So those animals are called pet animals. So pet animals. So children, so these are the various types of animals and different types of animals, and we will observe in various regions in different places. So especially, so where do you observe these wild animals? So the domestic animals can be observed in our villages, in your houses, on roadside. But where you can observe wild animals? So do we go to forest? No, because we cannot enter the forest. So that's why where can we observe these wild animals? So very good, we can observe these wild animals especially in zoos. So during holidays or vacation times, we can spend our holidays and vacation by visiting zoos with our parents. So there are a lot of wild animals, and there will be a lot of different wild animals in the zoos. So next, so children, so all these animals look like same. So did all these animals are looking same? No. So all these animals are not looking same. They are different. They are different in their sizes, in their shapes, and also in their colors, and also different in their skin, and also they are different in their food habits also. So children, so all these animals need food because all these are living organisms. So they need energy because they have to perform some regular activities. That means they have to move in search of their food. So all these animals need food for getting energy. So if they does not have food, they did not get energy. So that's why all these animals and all these living organisms needs food, and because of this food they will get energy, and they can grow up and they can build up their bodies. So because of this food, so these animals, so what is the uses of the food? So because of the food, the animals will get energy, and again, so again the animals, what the animals get from food? They will get energy from the food, and they will grow up. So they will grow up day by day because of this food. So if there is no sufficient food, so their growth will not, so there will be no proper growth. And also, so they will get energy from the food, and they will grow up, and also they will build up their bodies. So build up their bodies. So in this way, all the living organisms should require food. But all the animals did not take same type of food. So isn't it? Yes. So all the animals did not eat same type of food. So here the wild animals, especially lion, tiger, wolf, leopard, so these animals eat flesh of other animals. That means these animals depend upon other animals, and they will hunt other small animals and eat the flesh of those animals. So whereas if you take domestic animals like buffaloes, cats, goats, sheep, so they will eat plants and grass, etc. So these animals eat plants and grass, whereas these animals will eat flesh. So that means all the animals did not take the same type of food. They will eat different types of food. So now we will classify these animals based upon their food habits. So how can we classify the animals based upon their food habits? Here we classified the animals into two types, that is domestic animals and wild animals based upon their habitats. Habitat means the place at which they live are called habitat. Based upon their habitat, we have classified the animals into two types, domestic animals and wild animals. For domestic animals, the habitat is our roadside or villages or houses. Whereas for wild animals, the habitat is forest. So this is the classification based on the habitat. Now we are going to classify these animals based upon their food habits. So how can we classify the animals? And there are how many types of animals are there according to their food habits? So let us see the classification of food habits based upon their children. So let us classify the animals based upon their food habits. So we can classify the animals into three types. So how many types? We can classify the animals into three types based upon their food habits. So based upon their food habits, how many types we will classify the animals? We can classify into three types. So what are those? So the first one is herbivorous animals. Herbivorous animals. And what is the second type? So the second type is carnivorous animals. So carnivorous animals. And the third type of animals are omnivorous animals. Omnivorous animals. So children, in this way, we can classify the animals into three types based upon their food habits. So what are they? So let us see. The first one is herbivorous animals. And the second one is carnivorous animals. And the third type is omnivorous animals. So these are the three types of animals which can be classified on the basis of their food habits. Now let us discuss in detail about each type of the animals. So let us discuss first about herbivorous animals. So children, so what are herbivorous animals and what are the examples for herbivorous animals? So what are herbivorous animals?